Welcome to Date Sports, just a long-haired Yahoo that likes to have a yarn about sports. Now, before we jump into everything as well, make sure you like and subscribe. Give the socials a follow. I've given everything a link in the bio as well, so go suss all that out. Trying to crack 500 subscribers before the footy season's over. Well on the track at the moment, but all the help is appreciated. So let me know as well in the comments who you're going to be backing this week, any predictions, anything like that. So as well, I'm going to start off with Player of the Week. My Player of the Week is Jacob Carraz. He was an absolute beast up in Bundy. He scored 2 tries, ran 297 meters, had 2 line breaks, and 1 spew after his first try. It looked like he winded himself pretty badly there. The ground at Salter Oval is definitely not soft, that's for sure. I was chatting to my brother about it, and he's like, yeah, there's a cricket pitch in the middle, so that would explain a lot. Obviously, the grass is a little bit longer than it would be for cricket, but yeah, still no fun. It looked pretty bad. There was one point I thought the hammer did like a bloody knee or an ankle on it as well, but it all worked out okay. So for round 24, went pretty well on the tipping. So 6 for 8 for the round. So not the best, not the worst. Well, actually, nah, fairly good. I'm going to back myself there. Not too bad. Yeah, quick recap of that round as well. So Storm got the first one wrong, obviously, back Penrith. They won 24-22. Pretty much what we expected out of that one. Basically a grand final preview. I would have loved to have seen Nathan Cleary out there right at the final whistle as well. So he went down with a shoulder injury. What was it, about, I think, 15, 20 minutes to go? Right at that last play as well as Edwards having a crack at the 2-point field goal. I would have liked to have seen that be Nathan take that shot. I reckon he probably could have got it. Nathan's just that guy, he's built for those moments. But either way, Storm get it done. Manly, they beat the Warriors 24-10. Roosters, they pumped the Eels in the wettest game of the year, 34-14. Honestly, Bill Dom Young a statue at the moment, hat trick in that one. He was electric. Doggies, they give it to the Finns 30-10. There was an all-time foot falcon off in that one. So Fox and Hammer going at it. That was great to watch, honestly. I thought the Fox was through home and hose in that first one, but Herbie nearly got him as well, actually, but the Hammer obviously ran him down. Cows, they touch up the Raiders 42-4. Ricky, he surely exploded somewhere up in Townsville. He would have been going off. They got absolutely pumped. Val Holmes, he had a day out as well. Bunnies, they flop and go down to the Tigers. That sets up the spoon bowl well, though. We like that. Tigers get that win just to stay right in there. I knew that Tigers were going to snag one at some stage, but yeah, Bunnies, what are you going to do? Sharks versus the Knights. This one, yeah, probably not the most. Well, I guess the end of it was pretty entertaining. Sharks are off to a pretty hot start. I thought they were going to run away with it there for a little bit, but Knights, they reeled them in. And yeah, a lot of controversy with the shots there towards the end with, disruptors or blockers or whatever you want to call them when they're going for the field goals. Yeah, kind of made it a little bit hard. Now, if you'd like to jump ahead to Rugby League specific content, I've kind of time-stamped everything in there as well, but I do want to have a quick chat about UFC 305 that took place in Perth over the weekend. That was a massive fight card, that one. Bit of a mixed night for the Aussies. Big shout-outs, though, to Tom Nolan getting the W. Casey O'Neill got the dub and then did the ray gun moves after. Sadly, Taito Ivasa, he lost a decision. Some judge scored all 3 rounds to him, which was insane because I don't think he won a single one of those, unfortunately. Steve Ersic as well, he got knocked out in the first round by Kai Kara France. As being half Kiwi, I like to see Kai winning. I'm always going to be back them. I didn't want either of those guys to lose, but yeah, didn't expect that in the first round anyway. It was pretty funny though. They interviewed Kai after and they're like, oh, how come you keep knocking people out? And he's like, oh, it's because I'm Maori. Yeah, he's an absolute weapon. It's got to be a title shot for him next. And Dan Hooker, he is an absolute psychopath, honestly. When a lot of people probably thought he was over the hill on his career, he's really sparked things up again, gone and got tatted up. He might be a new mythical fighter, tatted up Dan Hooker, but yeah, he was intense out there. Got it done over Gamrot, made it an absolute war, and he's really thrown himself right back at the top of that division. Honestly, anything could happen for him moving forward. And then that gets on to the main event as well. So there was Dracus Duplessis versus Israel Adesanya. Dracus, he won by submission. I think it was round 4. I forgot. Pretty sure it was round 4, which was super impressive as well because Izzy, he looked on, honestly. He didn't look like he was rusty at all. He looked like he was really focused on this fight. I think he was winning the fight as well, if anything. Probably had 2 rounds to 1, I'd say, leading into that, depending on how you're looking at it and how you score it. But yeah, Izzy looked great, but yeah, Dracus managed to catch him, got him in the rear naked choke and finished him off. It was nice to see that they kind of, made peace with everything after the fight as well. But so funny, never would I have thought that Dracus Duplessis would be the middleweight champion of the UFC. Like, I remember when he first entered, I think it was about 2018 or roughly around there. Me and my mates used to watch him all the time. We loved watching Dracus. It was just a funny fighter, just because he would run at people with his chin up, blitzing them with massive power, would gas out, and then basically just be able to hang in there to get it done. It was pretty much the same fight over and over. It was hilarious to watch. But he just kept winning, and he hasn't lost in the UFC, and he's really starting to put together a resume as well. If you just look at his last couple fights, it's insane the people he's beaten at the moment. Um, so yeah, just too good, and it's obviously improved a lot. I would really like to just see him be fighting Robert Whitaker next in a title bout, but he's got to go up against Chimaev. Chimaev, in my opinion, doesn't really deserve it at all. It's got to be either Whitaker or Strickland really at this stage, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But either way, he's gone amazing. Yeah, putting himself out there on the map, and he can just keep winning. And honestly, I don't see a whole lot of people in the division that could probably give him dramas. The only scary thing is going to be if Alex Pereira decides to come down, which is indicating he wants to. That could be a bad day for him. But outside of that, I'd love to see him fight Whitaker again, and then obviously Strickland as well. That was an insane fight that they had. So yeah, two really good matchups moving forward. But who knows? Chimaev might win, and might be him versus Chimaev. Like I said earlier, we had an absolute foot falcon off with the Fox and the Hammer, and I think at this stage we have to see a 100-meter race on the grand final day. There's been so much talk about it recently. Some big favourites would obviously be Jason Saab. For me, I think the Hammer would be able to get it done. I don't think we've seen him at top speed yet. He just seems to be jogging everywhere. He doesn't run any faster than he needs to. He's just light and quick. I think he'd really, really be up there. I think a few other mentions as well would be Kohler from Manly, Xavier Savage from the Raiders. I think both of those like proper track sprinters type of thing. I think they've got some really, really good times. I think they would really be up there. Khan Pereira, I think he'd give it a good crack. I think in a shorter, like 30 to 50-meter race, I don't know if anyone could beat him. He is lightning fast. I think in the kind of 100 meters, I think a couple guys would be able to stride out. Dean Mariner from Brisbane Broncos, he can absolutely motor as well. I'm pretty sure he's got some of the quickest times, if not the quickest times there at the moment. Reece Walsh as well, he'd be quick, but I think it'd be like Khan Pereira where he would kind of die off towards the end there. We haven't really got to see Dino in full blown space either. I've been waiting this whole season just to see him just absolutely put his foot down, but he always just gets like ankle tapped or somebody comes across. So yeah, I'd love to see him in the clear. Obviously, some massive ones up there would be Dom Young. He's lightning quick and just so huge. His strides would be insane. The Fox, the fastest man on the planet. He's little bit older these days. If it was a couple of years ago, these guys are generally pretty much a lot younger than he is, but I think he'd still be well and truly up there. And yeah, that would be good to see. I would love to see that. Me and my mates have been talking about that for some time now. I don't know why they can't do it. Fucking the betting would go off. It just add so much more entertainment to that as well. Trying to get the players to actually do it, but I can't imagine them being super against it or anything like that. But I think everyone's sleeping on the well and truly fastest player in the NRL. And that is my Origin captain, the King DCE. He is honestly the king of speed when he's got that Maroons jersey on. He is so bloody quick, it's not even funny. There is no man out there that he can't run down over 100 meters wearing that thing. He's like 35, and he would make Jason Saab look slow if he was running in that. So if DC is not playing in the finals, they need to line him up in a Maroons jersey because he is going to win that easy. Now, on to a little bit of transfer talk, a little bit of signing. So, Corey Horseburgh, he wants out of the Raiders. So I think he was meant to be contracted until about 2027, but he's pulled the pin on them. He's said that he wants to go. He's only played a handful of games this season due to injury and a huge suspension as well for a bit of usus in the New South Wales Cup, which we all knew about. He's been linked to the Dragons and the Tigers, even the Bulldogs apparently, but the Broncos have entered the race to get Big Corey, which would be huge. I would love to see him come to Brisbane. We lost Flegler last year, so yeah, I'd love to see Big Red in here as well. I truly believe that every team needs at least one big angry ginger on their team that is willing to throw a few if needed, and he fits that perfectly. He's a rep player, played for Queensland, has plenty of experience, and I think that would really put the Broncos team on a roll and add some size and depth for them as well. So come up here, Corey. We'd love to see you back in Queensland. Come be a Bronco in 2025. That would be great. Now, moving on to the tips and predictions for round 25. Thursday night, we've got Tigers versus Manly. I'm going to go with Manly 13 plus. I think they're going to pump the Tigers silly at this stage. They are really starting to time their finals run. Their attack is just ridiculous as well. And I think they've got a really good forward pack in there. Tigers, they've snagged their win for this last little run. I don't see them get any more. One thing that is a little bit woo-woo about this one is the record that Manly has at Leichhardt. It is terrible, but I just don't think it's going to matter at this point, honestly. And when it comes to try scorers, I'm going to go back. Oh, actually, no, I think Luke Brooks is going to come in for some revenge. I think he's going to score, but I'm going to go back to the well on this one, and I think Tommy Bra is going to score anytime as well. Friday night doubleheader. I'm super game for this one. Couple of great games. So first game up, really special one for Warriors fans and Sean Johnson. So we got the Warriors versus the Doggies at Sean Johnson Stadium. So they've gone ahead and renamed the stadium for this week for Sean Johnson's last home game. It's going to be sold out, obviously. It is going to be absolutely massive. I would love to see the Warriors go ahead and get this one done. My heart says the Warriors, but my head says the Dogs, and I'm going to go the Dogs 1-12. I'd love to see Shawnee Johnson go out on a W. I'm sure absolutely everyone will. And I hope they really stand up for him. I think they could definitely make a game of it, but the Doggies are just way too consistent, and their attack is just getting better and better leading up to the finals as well. I think they're officially the best defense in the entire comp, and they're starting to smoke teams as well, putting the points on them. So, yeah, Warriors, they cannot afford to fall asleep in this one because it could be a rough one if they do. And I'm going to go with Jacob Kiraz to score anytime. Second game on the Friday night, Broncos versus the Eels. Legally, I've got to go to my Broncos 13 plus. We've pumped the Eels the last few times we've played them. It's an absolute must win for us if we're any hope to get into the finals. Now, mathematically, yes, we are a hope. I'm aware of that. I'm really holding out for that, but it is going to be a bit of a tough run. We've got some big games coming up, but yeah, like I said, we need to win this one. No Reese, Ezra, Haas, huge outs that we've got as well. But hey, look, my captain Renault, he's still in there. Renault don't miss. Everything will be fine with him leading the Shippers up one. We've got Tristan back into fullback. Obviously, people aren't necessarily too happy about that one. I think he's just had a really rough run this season. I think it's been, obviously a big task, big shoes to fill with Reece Walsh. He did really, really well last season. Just had a few mistakes, and I think that's just kind of compounded on top of each other. Yeah, like, a couple drop balls, and I guess that probably starts to really mess with your head a little bit as well. You start overthinking, and, it kind of then just starts happening more the more that you think about it. So, yeah, I think if Renault can rein him in, I think that's going to give him a whole lot of confidence. I could see a real redemption arc here if Tristan is able to turn things around in these next couple games, if Walshy is out. If he has some huge games, people will forgive all that. That will be all sorted. Happy days, especially if he wins a match for them. As long as he's not probably doing banana kicks at this stage. We do love to see that creativity from Tristan, but probably not the time. But yeah, I really hope he can keep his eye on the ball, catch everything that comes at him, and has a hell of a game. I'm going to go with Dean Mariner to score. Another thing as well, Cobbo, he's back this round as well, which is massive win for the Brisbane Broncos. I would have liked to have seen him go back into the centres instead of Dean being there, but hey, I'm just happy to have him back in the team and hopefully his head's all clear, everything's all sorted, and he's able to play his best footy. So we'll see how he goes. Next game, we got Raiders versus Penrith. I'm going to go Penrith Panthers 1-12. They just don't lose two in a row. It doesn't happen. So, yeah, good luck, Raiders fans, on this one. Obviously, massive one. Nathan Cleary's out this round. Well, for the foreseeable future anyway. He's probably going to be a couple weeks into the finals. But that just gives another massive opportunity for Luai to take a hold of this team and show us all what he can do and what he has been doing this whole season. I don't think it's really that big of a deal for Penrith. They're second. And they've basically played the majority of the season without Nathan anyway. So I think that's fine. They pretty much plug and play with all those Penrith players. Dylan Edwards, I'm going to back him to get over any time as well. Storm versus Dolphins, I'm going to go Storm 1-12. They're just way too hard to beat at Amy Park. Obviously, there's a couple teams that have got them recently, but even then, their record's just too good. And Bellamy has a ridiculous record against Wayne as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough task. Dolphins have dropped out of the 8. They're going to be putting everything into this one, but it's just going to be, yeah, mammoth work. They're pretty much the minor premiers at this stage. Really, really, probably the front runners. Well, no. I'd go second at this stage to win the premiership at this point. I'd still go Penrith. They've just got too much experience with Nathan. He's going to come back in and just light things up. You know what he does. He does it every single season. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Kyron Wishart, he has been an absolute machine for them for this entire season, actually. He's just so bloody good. He's filling in on the wing for Anderson, and I think he's going to cross over any time. You can put him in any position. He can play bloody lock. He can play front row. I don't care where you put him. He's going to score a try. Next game, we got Rabbitohs versus the Knights. This one is, yeah, not the most inspiring football of all time. The Knights, I'm going to back them 1-12 though, but I'd love to see the Rabbits get the win just for ladder things. I would like to see them just because, keeps them away from the Broncos. Yeah, look, Rabbitohs, they're going to be missing Cody Walker. I think he's been a massive part of any success that they've had this season. Obviously, the Latrell, he's done for the season. Yeah, Knights. Who are they missing? They're missing somebody. Oh, that's right. They got Tyson Gable's out. So Jack Cogger, he's in at the six. I do like they're going to definitely make some sort of run for the finals at this point. They're sitting in 11th. They need to throw everything at this one. If they get beaten by the Bunnies, that is not going to be good and almost basically shuts them out. They got some serious strike in the back line. Their forwards have been going pretty well as well. If they can get serious ball to Kalen Ponga, he's just going to be a weapon, obviously. And I'm going to back Kalen to get over for a try. Next game, we've got Titans versus Roosters. I'm going to go Roosters 13 plus. They just love to bully teams outside of the eight. Even teams inside of the eight, if you look at the Dragons, they just, yeah, they're going to pump them, honestly. They are really starting to ramp things up heading into the finals. They're on an absolute roll, and I think it's going to be a real rough watch if you're a Titans fan as well. Just all across the park, they have elite players everywhere. It's ridiculous. That back line is just smoking teams at the moment. Dom Young is honestly a cheat code. And Teddy's just in ridiculous form as well. So they got a lot to play for. They're definitely up there with Penrith and Storm as actual contenders for this season. Obviously, they've had their issues trying to beat those teams, but they're well and truly up there. They're kind of goes like Storm, Penrith, Roosters in my mind, and then it's like a bit of a gap between the rest. I think Sharks are fucking nowhere near any of that. So yeah, they're going to be tough. The Titans do have some strike in their team to ruin some teams' day, but at this stage, it's not really going to matter too much for the Roosters, I don't think. And I just don't see it going that way anyway. And I think Dom Young is going to cross. What's this? Last game of the round, I believe. Dragons versus Sharks. I'm going to go Sharks 1 to 12. I'm not convinced at all on the Sharks, though. Like I said, I would really like them to lose, kind of. But I also need the Dragons to lose just because of a lot of things. Once again, get them out of the eight. What the hell are they doing there? But look, it's as simple as this. Dragons go win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and it's their week to lose. Uh, you can't argue with that. That's just how patterns work. So, yeah, that's exactly how it's going to go. Flano, he really wants to get it over the Shark, but once again, patterns can't do it. I'm going to go with Ronaldo to score. Jumping to the tip of the week, I'm going to back Tommy Bra once again because Tom Turbo, he don't miss. He just scores for me every single time I put him down. So we're going to go Tommy Turbo. Once again, I think Wishy, he's going to score anywhere you put him. He's going to cross for a 4-pointer. And I'm going to go Dean Mariner. Lightning fast Dean, he's going to cross through. Plain and centers be better if he was on the wing, but either way, that bloke scores every other week, so he's going to cross the line. Once again, let me know in the comments who you're going to be backing this round, and have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.